Carl Coulage for the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. Thank you to everyone joining us here on Facebook and on YouTube. I am your host, Carl Coulage, and WWE Money in the Bank comes to you live tonight at 8 o'clock. It is one of the top, I believe, one of the premier pay-per-views in WWE right now. I can kind of categorize it with the likes of SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. You may call me crazy, but I've been kind of putting Money in the Bank in that particular category. 10 years ago, we had the night where CM Punk left with the WWE Championship. It was regarded as one of the greatest pay-per-views in WWE history, especially for the last decade. So Money in the Bank has had some special moments. So tonight could have a lot of implications, a lot of different storylines that could happen based off of the results. So I'm here to have some contributors from all across the pro wrestling spectrum online that I have recruited and collaborated with. So I'm excited to discuss what are some of our options here heading into Money in the Bank. And some people are really excited about it. I know the AEW fans are not too thrilled, and they think WWE is on the trendward down. But as you all know, I'm a WWE guy till I die. So let's get into it. I'm going to introduce my first two contributors who are going to discuss this with me. We have Clint coming in and Mike Murillo, and they're going to break down what their thoughts are heading into this pay-per-view. And they're going to come in here shortly. We have Mike Murillo. Mike, how you doing, sir? Can you hear me? Mike, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I don't know where Clint is. I don't know if he's trying to make a grand entrance. I don't know what he's doing, what he's got up his sleeve. But Clint, if you can hear me, we're ready to go. His spot is empty. Here he is. He had to make a grand entrance. Did you have to make a grand entrance on us, Clint? Is that what you were trying to set us up for?
Bad.
It's all good. No. It's all good. We were preparing for your grand entrance. That's what it was.
Well, that's what I'm here for now. I wish my dogs would shut up. They saw me just run across the house trying to get here.
It's okay. We understand. Listen, this new form of podcasting comes from homes. We have babies who come in. We have dogs barking. This is the new lifestyle. We understand it. We embrace it. But thank you for joining us here on the Sports Hit List as we will break down Money in the Bank. The level of excitement, would you kind of guys consider putting Money in the Bank in that core of pay-per-views for WWE? Clint, would you say that Money in the Banks deserve that slot now? Like it kind of replaced King of the Ring in that main core of pay-per-views for WWE?
Oh, 100%. Just because of how big of a match it was at Mania and everything, and now coming in and having being its own pay-per-view, I mean, it's one I definitely look forward to. I think it's the one that really makes the most sense, like you have your two big matches. I wish they would do a tag Money in the Bank match, but I mean, there's a lot of high spots. You don't need to have specific people in the match. I mean, look at tonight's match. You've got all different forms of people in it. So yeah, I think it's definitely in the top five for sure.
Mike, what do you think? Do you think would you put Money in the Bank in that Survivor Series, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam category? Like the core pay-per-views for WWE. Has it earned that right?
No, because it hasn't been around for that long.
I mean, it's been around for. I think it started in 2011 because the last
compared to the other ones.
No, right,
you know what I mean?
Right. But
so, like, when you think about WWE when they first were starting to come out with pay-per-views, those are the big four. Money in the Bank wasn't part of that. So the big four will always be the big four.
They did, but listen, they did get it was technically the big five. It was King of the Ring, and they got rid of the King of the Ring. So I kind of think over the last 10 years, you'd say Money in the Bank has kind of sneaked into that fifth spot as a consistent, core pay-per-view, in my opinion. Especially given 10 years ago was the most historic Money in the Bank in memory with CM Punk, stealing the WWE Championship in Chicago and running away with it. I thought that was epic. It was the 10-year anniversary yesterday, and now we're the dawning of a new Money in the Bank. So, gentlemen, I'm not going to waste any time, so let's get right into the card. So, on the pre-show, we have the Mysterios versus the Usos, father and son versus brother and brother. I don't know if that's ever been a matchup in WWE to have a father and son tag team facing off against a brother duo. Clint, what are your thoughts here? Who wins this one in the pre-show?
Pre-show, I'm taking the Mysterios. So a couple weeks ago, I would have taken the Usos, but I think with the DUI or DWI, whatever acronym it is for his drunken
DWI.
yeah, whichever one it was, for that, I think that they're going to hold that against them. And I don't think they're going to let the bloodline kind of hold all the titles. So a couple weeks ago, I thought it was going to be the Usos. Now I think it's going to be Ray and Dom. And then we're going to really see the whole rivalry between the brothers kind of go. And then it's going to end up with him getting written off for a while. I think that's what I'm predicting. So I'm going to go with the Mysterios.
Okay. Mike, who you got here?
Well, for those watching, there's a memo. A new predictions champion shall be crowned today. So I'm going to try to go for the best of how many matches there are? 7?
7.
I believe so. Yeah.
I'm going with the Usos winning this. I mean, you have the Usos and you have Roman with the title of the Bloodline. Now they have the gold. Well, the silver, really, but it is what it is. They have the championship.
Mike, I'm sorry to cut you off. Could you do me a favor? You're coming in a little too loud. Could you possibly lower your? I don't know if you could lower your mic or just.
How's that?
That's a little bit better.
Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. So you got the Usos, and Clint has, because of Jimmy Uso's DWI, he has him being punished for it. I don't know if the Bloodline should be punished because of Jimmy's, misfortunes. I don't know, and it seems like that punishment hasn't been warranted yet. So I'm not sure. I mean, he wasn't punished the first 2 times. I don't know if it's a sense of favoritism for the Usos is why he may not be punished yet. I thought they would have won the championships at SummerSlam. That was my whole thing, was like the family comes together at SummerSlam, but why not have them come together tonight? I mean, they already got them on one unison, so why not have them defeat? And they already lost to the Mysterios on SmackDown with that roll-up incident. So why not just have them win it tonight? That's just how I see it. I think I'm going Usos here.
Dang. See, look at this. This could be the one that brings that belt home and that briefcase, Carl. Like, there it is right there.
You're still vying for that briefcase. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is very precious to me. So I don't know how much I want to let this go. We can discuss it.
The women's.
It doesn't matter. It's still a briefcase. It's still a briefcase. Men's, women's. There's a men's contract in there. Boom. That's how we sell it. All right.
Hey, it's 2021. It doesn't matter. Okay?
It doesn't matter.
It's all
Thank you.
different.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. All right. So now we have the Viking Raiders versus AJ Styles and Amos for the Raw Tag Team Championships. I'm not sold on Amos just yet. I don't know if he's still a little green. His mic skills aren't there. Even just his wrestling ability seems to be subpar, in my opinion. I could just be being harsh on a new guy, but it's not working for me. I don't know. And I really don't like what they're doing with him and AJ. Mike, what are your thoughts here? Who wins the match?
I think Almost is great. I mean, like, think about it. What else are you going to do with him? You know what I mean? Like, there's really nothing much you could do with him when he's a 7-foot monster. What are you going to do? You're just going to put him next to the best in the world in AJ Styles. So, and just keep it going for as long as it can until he can get the best out of him. So I'm going to go with AJ Styles and Almost.
All right, Clint?
I mean, I'm just going to be Mr. Different tonight. I'm going with the Viking Raiders. Them coming back, I think that they're going to get a pretty humongous pop tonight. And I really see them going over tonight.
Okay. As I said before, Clint, what are your thoughts on Amos? What do you think of him?
I'm not the biggest fan, but like Mike said, you got to pair him with somebody. So I think by himself, he really gets lost in the shuffle. He's kind of like the Great Khali to me. He's, a one-trick pony in that he's huge, but can't do a whole lot. So with him paired with AJ Styles, I think it's a good connection. But him as a wrestler, I think he's better as a manager and as better as the meat and potatoes of that relationship with them, pretty much, and the heavy hitter, and then AJ can kind of just do his own thing and kind of stay out of the way. So,
all right, we have Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. Another storyline I'm kind of just like on. I'm not really, I've seen it before. It hasn't really entertained me, that them going back and forth with the fake injuries. It hasn't drawn me. I don't know if, like I said, maybe I'm just being a tough critic here, but
it's 9 months too late for this
possibly
storyline.
Yeah. So Clint, who do you have here?
I've got Rhea retaining. I think she's money. So I'm a huge Rhea fan. I was when she was in NXT. So I'm going with Rhea over Charlotte for sure.
Mike?
I'm gonna go with Rhea. To be honest, just finish this already. This has been going on for way too long at this point. And if it's gonna finish, then finish with her as champion. That's it.
Okay. I guess I'll go with the clean sweep here and pick Rhea Ripley to win too as well. I mean, I don't know how many times we have to see when someone wins a championship. How many times she fit? What is it, like 10, 11 time championship? I don't know how many more times we have to see her win the title for us to consider her to be great. We already know Charlotte is great, and Rhea's on the rise. So
Yeah, time for Charlotte to put somebody over.
Right. About time. Do we see possibly again? I try to stay away from spoilers and rumors. Is this a time for Becky Lynch to make her return into this match and kind of like
well, she will
like maybe just start to size up Rhea Ripley to give us a preview of SummerSlam? Is that something that's possibly looming, Clint?
Oh, she will.
Okay. No. I'm gonna go with her interfering with Bianca next Friday in front of fans. I was gonna say this.
Well, I mean, they are in front of fans tonight too.
Well, she's not wrestling tonight because Bailey got hurt, so Bianca's not
right. Oh yeah, because she's not right
tonight, setting up for SummerSlam. I'm assuming she's gonna go to SmackDown since Seth is on SmackDown. They're not gonna put her on Raw and him on SmackDown.
Well, you know what? Let me do you one better. Maybe Bianca's cutting a promo and then here hits her music.
Exactly. Maybe that too. I see her going after Bianca. I see her being on SmackDown because you have Charlotte over on Raw. So that's just where I see it. I don't see her really messing with this match too much.
Okay. And Mike, you possibly see a Becky Lynch return tonight?
I don't know what direction they're going to take with her, but yeah, I mean, there's no question. If she doesn't make an appearance, I'll be very, very surprised because you have fans back. This is a perfect chance just to get a good pop, at least.
Okay. All right. So we have the WWE Championship, Bobby Lashley versus Kofi Kingston. I know in our group chat, we were kind of bouncing around ideas about spoilers about, Bobby turning on, his Hurt Business partner in MVP. And Clint, I literally have been talking about your idea about, the booking with this match to some of my other wrestling colleagues at work. And they like your idea, but again, knowing WWE, they're not that smart to pull that off.
No, they're gonna blow it. They're completely blow it.
I could see Bobby retaining because we kind of all know what the rumor is leading into SummerSlam. I don't even want to get into it because that's a whole entire rant for me to just go off on. But Mike, who do you win? Who wins this match?
I think we know I think it's pretty spoiled. We all know what's going to happen. The whole internet knows, so Bobby will win. And then we'll go on to do what I find interesting, but others don't. But yeah, Bobby Lashley for this one.
Okay, Mike, what are your thoughts? I mean, I'm sorry. Clint, what are your thoughts?
No, Lashley retains. That was already the original plan, kind of. The more and more I watch Raw and SmackDown, it seemed like it's more of the MVP and Lashley situation. I want to say Kofi and MVP cost him, and then it's that. But because of the spoilers we're reading, which God, I hope somebody is finally wrong with the spoiler. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Lashley here, and my whole plan's gonna blow up. But yeah, Lashley retains.
Okay. So let's go to our next matchup we have for the Universal Championship. We have Roman Reigns versus Edge. So Biscuit, who do you have here winning this match?
I've got Roman winning with an interference from Seth. That's what I'm going to predict. They've been going at it back and forth. I think it's going to lead to a huge SummerSlam match between them two. So I really think something's going to happen and Seth's going to come out and ultimately curb stomp Edge, and then Roman's going to get the win. And yeah, so Roman retains.
Mike, who you have here?
Yeah, Clint took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah, so well, I mean, because clearly we see that they've teased the Edge and the Seth at some point. Maybe we get possibly a little mini Shield reunion maybe tonight. I'm not sure how that may end up working out, but is that a possibility where Seth comes in and helps his old Shield buddy to retain against Edge? Maybe, possibly. Is that what we're leaning towards?
Yeah, I don't even think it's going to be like a Shield thing. I think they're both going to be down, or Edge is going to hit a spear or he's going to be setting up for a spear, and as he's going to go, Seth's just going to come out of nowhere with a curb stomp or something. It's going to be something crazy like that. I think, in my opinion, that's how I would book this to lead into SummerSlam, giving them a huge match then, because they're already building for it. I mean, this is one of the better slow builds that WWE has done in recent memory. I mean, dating back all the way to what, 2013, 2014, when he didn't curb stomp him on the briefcase.
Yeah, I think it was 2014 because Edge was still suffering from his entire
The New
neck
Year
injury.
episode.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's what I see happening, as a curb stomp out of nowhere, and yeah, or Seth gets in the way and he spears him, and Roman wins. Roman's gonna win. And it's gonna lead to them going to SummerSlam, Edge and Seth. So
you're right. Okay, so moving along, we have our Money in the Bank matches. On the women's side, we have let's see here who's in this match. We have Asuka, Naomi. We have Alexa Bliss. We have Liv Morgan, the women's tag team champions, Tamina and Natalia. We have the superhero, I guess you could call her. And then we have returning is, what's her name? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Zelina Vega.
Zelina Vega, thank you. So who wins out of this one?
Something tells me Liv. I don't know why, but I just keep thinking Liv. Because of what's been going on with her the past couple of weeks. I think Liv Morgan's walking out with this.
That's what I have written down too. I have Liv. She's hot right now with the crowd.
And physically.
Well, yeah, that too. I just don't see who else you give it to. You're not gonna give it to the superhero. Natty and Tamina. I don't think anything happens with them here. They don't need it. Alexa, and then Zelina, she just came back. So yeah, Liv is who I'm going with too.
So everyone's going. I listen. They've been teasing Liv, but I'm going. I mean, I kind of want to say Alexa Bliss, even though she's won it already. But I kind of feel like she has like the hot hand to win a championship on Raw. You'd be the one to challenge Rhea Ripley. So I'm gonna go Alexa Bliss here.
I really hope that Bray comes back. Like Alexa's climbing the ladder and Bray comes back and something comes over her and she just like bows out of the match. I think she's one of those, kind of like Charlotte, that doesn't need the championship to be over with everybody. You know, give it to somebody fresh. That's why I'm thinking Liv. So, and hopefully it brings the Fiend back.
Yeah, listen. I don't mind either way. I love somebody fresh, but for some reason I don't know if like Liv's promo, like her promos are not that great. I don't know, man. I'm not too impressed with Liv. Like I understand it and I see where you guys are going, but I'm not impressed with her mic skills. And I don't know if she can be a champion just yet.
I don't like her mic skills either, but out of all those people in the ring, her and Alexa are the two best ones. I mean, arguably you can say Natty's up there too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But Natty's I don't even know why Natty and Tamina are even in there. They're tag champs. I don't even know why you'd have,
unless they're going to bring Tegan and Chauncey in tonight to interfere with them, and they're just going to keep that going to SummerSlam, you know, to have that tag team stuff and just get them out. And then there's 6 women. Yeah, I don't understand why they're in there either.
Well, like what you were talking about with Liv, I think it's kind of unfair to judge her mic skills because fact of the matter is she's been given a script. I think she's one of those people that
no, I can't.
You give her a script. She doesn't feel comfortable maybe going after it. I don't think.
Listen. I'm going to disagree with you. Just because you're given a script doesn't mean you can't fulfill those obligations of what you're supposed to do. There's a difference when you cut a promo and you're given the script. You're supposed to take that script and make it your own and own it. I don't think Liv has done that just yet. And I think there was the one where she against Sonya Deville, where Sonya was basically telling her to shut up and if you don't get out of my face. It didn't work for me. It just wasn't there. You know, and I'm not sure I would put her in a position to win a Money in the Bank, which means she'd have to go up again. So what does that mean? So we have Sasha, we have Becky Lynch coming back. So now you have Liv Morgan with the Money in the Bank. So is she going to cash in on a possible Bianca Belair with the up? I don't know. I honestly can't see that just yet. I could be wrong, but with WWE, you just never know.
Well, it's kind of like what you're going with. It's kind of like an Otis situation, right? I mean,
right.
He was hot with the fans, but he couldn't talk. And then look what happened. They kind of backed themselves into a corner.
And now he's great. Now he's great because they gave Chad Gable a mouthpiece and they made him heel completely, shaved the beard off. He's amazing.
Exactly. So, and with, Liv losing Ruby Riott was great. I loved Ruby Riott. So with her losing her mouthpiece, maybe so. I think Liv takes it, but I don't know. You bring up a couple good points, Carl. So,
Well, sometimes the head of the table could be, we'll try to be as accurate as possible when it comes
oh
to.
my God.
Listen, the head of the table of the hit list, baby. Listen, it goes back to WrestleMania when I told them that Bobby Lashley and Roman were retaining, and nobody on the panel believed me, and I was the only one who stuck with it, and I was right. So I'm just.
So
saying.
it doesn't even go back to last year then. Interesting.
Listen,
I wonder who you thought the head of the table was.
Listen, I'm just saying. But in our final men's Money in the Bank contract, we have. Let's see here as I pull up the roster. Who's on here? We have Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Riddle, Ricochet, John Morrison, Big E, Shinsuke, and Seth Rollins for the men's Money in the Bank contract. Mike, who are you going with?
It is about time that this superstar has been given a chance. I think it's going to be Big E.
Big E. Okay. Clint?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, a month ago. I still think it's Big E. I still want it to come true that somehow Kofi wins tonight and he cashes in, and then Big E just gets the championship tonight, turns on the New Day. That's the dream. It ain't going to happen because we know what's going to happen tomorrow night. But Big E taking it. I'm excited for this match. There's going to be some super high spots with Morrison, Ricochet, Riddle, Seth. I mean, Kevin Owens, he'll jump from the damn rafters. It don't matter.
Yeah, it's going to be a good match. Yeah,
it's going to be great.
Listen, before I make my pick, I'm just going to say I've got to be totally honest with you. I'm really disappointed that Cesaro did not get into this match. And I don't know why Seth is like, they could have just left Seth out and just had Seth do his run into the WWE Championship. Cesaro should have been in this match because clearly you're going with a lot of people who haven't had the opportunity, with the exception of Drew McIntyre and maybe Kevin Owens, who haven't been champion. It doesn't make sense why Cesaro got demoted to, Alpha Academy. He's getting beat up by Otis when he could have easily been in that match and beat Seth to be in that spot. Like I'm still a little disappointed.
Vince probably thinks he's just missing something, but what is that he's missing? You know what I mean?
I mean, he's just coming off a great feud with Seth. He won at WrestleMania. I don't understand why he doesn't I don't understand if he just wanted star power to put Seth in there. But Cesaro could have done a great job in that match, and the fans love Cesaro too. So that's to me, that's my little rant about why I thought Cesaro should have been in that spot. But I clearly, Big E looks like the heavy favorite going in here. I don't see anybody else who could possibly, like, if you do a process of elimination, Shinsuke is running with the King storyline. Seth is bound to face Edge. John Morrison is just comedy right now at this point with his what's that called? Like the drip gun or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's all ridiculous.
Yeah, who else you got in there? Ricochet possibly, but his mic skills again are like, not really working for me.
He's in there for the super effect.
Right. Drew McIntyre. Listen, Drew McIntyre feuding with the modern day Maharaja. That's good. I like that storyline. I like where they're going.
Yeah,
I
think it's great.
And I could totally see Jinder Mahal doing a quick run in to cost McIntyre the Money in the Bank because he didn't get a chance to win it. I could totally see that happening. Who else is in there?
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens, no. I mean, yes, Kevin Owens could win it, but he's a former Universal Champion. I don't see him getting another opportunity.
Baron Corbin. He's going something with Baron Corbin.
Or he's doing something
for high. Yeah, he's
right. So by process of elimination, it looks like it's Big E. But again, we all know WWE and their booking. So would we be surprised if that's not what happens tonight?
Okay, fine then. How about this? We make a second pick. This pick won't count, but just a second pick, just at a random.
Backup?
Yeah, a backup. Just think for a second.
I don't know who else would be a backup to win. Riddle. Riddle would be the only one that I didn't think about. Riddle, because then you could have Orton come back and feud with him and say he took his spot in the Money in the Bank. That's the only other sleeper pick I would say is Riddle. Like, you don't see that one coming, and Randy gets upset about it to the point where Randy wants him to challenge for his briefcase because clearly they're not giving them the tag team championships. And this Rated Arcade Bro kind of seems to be at a standstill because we don't know where Randy is. That's the only other booking I would have for that is Riddle winning it.
That's where I was about to go to, was Riddle. And then basically you have Randy just grooming him to get to the championship, and then he gets there and then screws him out of it or something for him not being able to be in the Money in the Bank match. So yeah, I was going to go with Riddle also.
Yeah, so it would have to be Riddle or Big E. Those are the only two logical answers that make sense. Yes, thank you. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate
Wait, what is that? Say it again.
Riddle or Big E are the only two that make sense to win it tonight.
No, but what it could make.
No, Riddle. I just said Riddle too, and that it makes sense for either one of those to hold it. They would be the two that make the most sense and be the most logical. But we know that's not the case. So Hornswoggle will probably run in and win, and that'll be it. So it'll be great, and it'll be stupid. So
for sure. Guys, enjoy it tonight. We're gonna have a post show to kind of give our opinions on what we thought of it, and we'll give a grade. So what will happen is, since there are other people going to come in, I'll just elect 2 people to come in, give your opinion, give a grade to the pay-per-view, give your reactions, and then you guys jump out so we could have other people to come in to give their opinions. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys for the post show. You guys enjoy it.
Last thing right here. So if the men's Money in the Bank is last, if they don't main event with Roman or Edge, and the men's Money in the Bank is last, watch Edge screw Seth out of it. It's going to be flip-flop. Edge is going to come in and screw Seth.
Oh, okay. So in order for that to happen, the Money in the Bank has to go last.
Exactly.
Right.
So depending on which one goes last, that's going to be, the screw job in Fort Worth, Texas tonight.
That is interesting. Because
right here.
Before we get off, real quick, Edge did come, like we said before, he said, I haven't forgotten what happened in 2014. He said that before, but Seth said I probably should have gotten the job done.
Yeah,
so think about that for a second.
Listen, they've been teasing it the last 2 weeks. We know it's coming for SummerSlam.
Maybe Edge is like, I don't want this guy to paralyze me here.
Listen. We've been seeing the teasers because clearly after Edge's match, he was in the back. Seth was laughing. Like, they've been teasing it. Like, we know it's coming, and I think it'd make for a great match at SummerSlam, especially in Vegas outside. It's going to make for a great. So I'm just curious to see how they start that storyline tonight, because clearly tonight it's going to start one way, shape, or form. We know what's going to happen with that. All right, guys, thank you so much. Please continue to watch the rest of the show. We have some other opinions coming in. We got some backstage brawl guys coming in. We're going to bring them in right now. You guys take care. You're watching the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans as we prepare for WWE Money in the Bank coming to you live tonight at 8 o'clock. Take care, man. We got Randy Louis coming in. I think he's the diamond cutter if he's sitting at his desk. Randy, you growing out the hair, my brother? What's going on, sir? Randy, can you hear me? I don't think he sees me. Hello. I love when people do that when they don't see. Randy, can you see me, my brother?
Yeah, I can see.
All right. I don't know where the diamond cutter is. I think he's getting prepped and ready to go. But how you doing, sir? Letting the hair grow out?
I'm just letting it breathe for a bit, man, before I put it back, put it up, get it done. Plus I'm doing summer camp, wearing my summer camp shirt right now.
I hear you, man. Listen, it's what it is. Money in the Bank, $1 Million Man vibes. Ted DiBiase. Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man tonight. So let's do it. So we got some Money in the Bank predictions. I want to hear what you guys' opinions are on the pay-per-view. Hopefully Eric comes in pretty soon. I don't know if he's at his desk. Told him 6:30. I think he's waiting to come in. But let me start with you real quick on the. Say it again.
I say he should have been in. We just finished recording.
I know. He's probably taking a break right now, but we're gonna continue the train going. I'm sure he'll pop in. But the pre-show, we got father and son versus brother and brother. I think it's we have the Mysterios versus the Usos. I'm not sure if that's the first time that's ever happened where you have a father-son versus a brother tag team in the match, but that's what's happening right now for the pre-show. Who you have in that pre-show matchup?
Ooh, I have the Mysterios retaining. I don't think the Usos are going to take it this one. I don't have them taking it.
So you think they're going to punish Jimmy? They're going to continue? Is Jimmy going to get finally punished?
I mean, obviously for this match, yeah, sure, but they're not going to mess up the storyline with Roman. They're going to eventually reward them with the tag team championships, but they're probably going to handle it internally in terms of his punishment. So, for storyline purposes, in terms of how they're going to handle the table, I don't think they're going to take the titles off the Mysterios. Not just yet.
Okay. All right. Eric's in the house. Eric, how you doing, sir? Thanks for joining us. The Diamond Cutter original.
Yes.
What's going on, man?
Thanks for guys started.
It's all good, man. Thanks for filling in last minute for our brother JJ, who was attending elsewhere at this moment. Well, shout out to him. We know how those vibes go, JJ.
Yes, we do.
We understand them. That's why when you get to that marital status, you just basically make sure you work your schedule around the pay-per-views. You know what I'm saying? I gotta talk to him about those things. You got to maneuver your way to make sure that you can watch your NBAs, your WWEs. That's why you go to those dates first, and then you'll be able to do those things. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. Nothing but love. But we're talking about the Mysterios versus the Usos. I think this is the first time I've seen a father-son tag team versus a brothers tag team in the match. What are your thoughts? Who comes out here with the victory?
I know how you feel about the Mysterios. I've
grown to love them because of Dom. I like Dom. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think I put my hate aside for Ray because of Dom, and I like to see Dom and father and son. I kind of like that family dynamic. So Ray's getting a pass from me for now because his son is involved.
Okay. So I don't feel so bad about my choice, but I think I'm gonna go with the Mysterios too, only because right now, SmackDown they're in a weird spot with their tag division. You do have the dynamic of Otis and Gable. You have the eventually you're gonna have the Street Profits return. You still got the Dirty Dog somewhere in the back. So I don't
Then you
see
have the Alpha Academy too, which haven't been primed for anything yet.
Yeah. Gable and Otis. I mentioned.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
So no problem. So I do see the Mysterios retaining tonight. I don't see the Usos winning that. This could set up a potential Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso match for SummerSlam if they go that route, trying to fully turn Jimmy, because we haven't really seen Jimmy kind of really being on board. He's like he's halfway in the door, halfway out the door. So it's like, let's fully get you in there.
I disagree a little bit because when him and last week on SmackDown, they all hugged. So it's kind of, it looked like it squashed the whole thing at that point. That's what I thought was going down. You know, Jay comes back and then they all hugged. I thought it was, genuine enough to just squash the whole beef at that point. That's what I thought, at least.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I don't.
All right, listen, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I said this. I think the Usos win it to kind of have the bloodline having the tag team championships for a little bit. I could totally see them. Like, again, they all hugged it out last week on SmackDown. They won the match. They didn't seem any more tension. Why would they flip it now again to have tension again? It doesn't make any sense to me. I could totally see. And the fact that Edge has gotten the best of the Usos the last couple of weeks, so have the Mysterios, this could be a way for them to win the tag team.
Because Jimmy's the weakest link, to be honest. Like outside of the current, out of the ring stuff, like in terms of storyline purposes, Jimmy Uso's the weakest link because he hasn't fully acknowledged Roman as a chief.
But again, I disagree. I think he did when they hugged.
No,
he told them. He said to come here, and they all
hugged. See, it's one thing. It's one thing to do it as family. It's one thing because Roman. If we haven't learned anything but from Roman, you have to physically, like verbally, and publicly acknowledge him as a chief. Jimmy hasn't done it yet. He still hasn't done it. They may have hugged. They may have hugged in terms of like putting the family back together, sure, just to make sure Jay's back on board. Because since Jay's back on board, he thinks everything is still sweet. So Jimmy really hasn't fully acknowledged Roman as tribal chief yet. So that's the one thing that I'm still holding on to because he really hasn't fully acknowledged him, and he's gonna be the weakest link in case if they lose or something happens.
Okay, that's on the pre-show, so that's going to start at like 7:00 is the pre-show, right? So yes. I may still be on air. You guys will keep me posted as to what's going on in that match while I'm still engineering the show. We got 2 other contributors coming. All right, so on the main card, we have the Viking Raiders versus AJ Styles and Amos. I was just telling the other guys who are on here, I'm not too sold on this AJ Styles and Amos tag team. Amos, to me, his mic skills are still green. His in-ring ability is still green. I'm not really too thrilled with what's going on here. So, and I really don't like the spot that AJ is in. I understand he needed that tag team championship to be a triple crown. So like he or a grand slam, he got it now. So it's like, all right, give him something else. I don't think this tag team works for me. Eric, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to say they keep it on AJ and Omos only because right now, again, Raw is worse than SmackDown. Raw has no tag division. So if you sit here and basically pinball the tag team titles between those two, it's going to get tiring. And right now, what I think they're going to do, they're just going to put it on AJ. They're going to keep it on AJ Styles because AJ is a recognizable figure. He's a recognizable talent. And, with crowds coming back, that's probably the best person to have those titles on. Hopefully they solve that problem eventually. Maybe an NXT call up, maybe something. But to stick with the topic on hand, I'm going to go AJ and Omos.
Randy?
Same. I'm going to go AJ Omos. I said something similar on my live on Instagram with Eric this afternoon, saying, what Deion has been saying, like, ain't nobody care. I didn't really care about this match because of the fact of how they're treating the tag teams. I'm invested in both of them as tag teams respectively, but in terms of how they're promoting this match in this tag team, it doesn't make me care for it. And I feel bad for both parties. But if I had a horse in the race, obviously the defending champions, because AJ's the most recognizable face. You need someone recognizable to get, to gain that notoriety. And AJ's cool right now, man. AJ, he's been WWE champion for the better half of a couple years ago, and he's won everything. So he's on cruise control right now. So whenever they break the glass for AJ to go for the main title again, which they will eventually, he's chilling right now.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the clean sweep here. They do retain, but as I said before, I'm really not too fond of this tag team. It doesn't work for me. And this I guess Ebony and Ivory and mixed mixed race tag team is not doing it for me right now. I'm not feeling the Jungle Fever tag team. I'm sorry, it's not working for me. But I'll go with them to retain. We have Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte for the World Women's Championship. Another match I'm really not too feeling. I didn't like the build. The whole fake injury crap didn't work for me either. I really honestly don't care for this match. But I guess Rhea retains because how many times do we have to see Charlotte win the Women's Championship or a championship anymore? It's time for her to kind of elevate the woman to the next champ. Randy, who you got here?
This unfortunately for both ladies again, I'm invested in both females individually, but in terms of how they book this match, I really don't care. Because they've done Rhea a disservice ever since her first call up, and now as champion they kind of made her bland, so they have to do something in terms of her attitude, not necessarily turning her, but
and her looks. Let's be honest, man.
her looks are going to be her looks.
Something went wrong, man. I don't know, man. She left and came back, and she looks like you know what? Let me stop because I'm going to go on a roll and it's going to be bad. Let me just stop myself right now because Eric knows where I'm going. I'm not even going to go there anymore. I'm so sorry.
I'm going to go with something that I think that was said in our prediction show. The fact that I don't think there's going to be a winner of this match. If the women's match does happen early in the night and someone wins, I think that person who wins from Raw might take that title. So I don't think Rhea is going to leave the night champion.
Oh, okay.
So that's something that we've kind of discussed on our show. So,
a lot of scenarios here tonight. A lot of scenarios. We have a lot of things that can happen. So you don't think she leaves with the championship, so neither does Charlotte. Eric, how's your booking for this match?
That is the same way I was going. If either one of these women go over, it will be short-lived. Whoever wins the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, if it's prior to the women's championship match, whoever cashes in is going to win. So I don't see either one of these women. Just like to your point, the build for this story, it's awful. It's probably one of the worst I've seen, and nobody's invested in this.
No,
not even Charlotte herself is invested in this.
No, there was a possibility. I said maybe because the rumors are running high that Becky makes a return because their fans back. Could she possibly do a run-in and challenge? But then my other guys made a point that they're not going to put her on Raw because Seth is on SmackDown. They want to keep a family together, so she'd probably go to SmackDown. So maybe she'll have maybe Bianca Belair cuts a promo tonight and Becky Lynch appears, or she'll be on SmackDown. So. Is there a possible Becky Lynch sighting here to come in for Rhea Ripley, or would she be moved to SmackDown, Eric?
I'm gonna be the one to think outside the box. I'm gonna say Raw, only because she never lost the Raw Women's Championship. Fair. Remember last year she gave it up because of pregnancy. So it's a fair point to say that because WWE is so focused on keeping couples together. They especially marketable ones, and Seth and Becky Lynch are both marketable stars. So it makes sense for her to go to SmackDown. So I don't disagree with that. But if you look at it from a storyline standpoint, she never lost the Raw Women's Championship. She never had a fair rematch with Asuka. And also Rhea Ripley being the new blood, she needs somebody to push her in a way of saying, hey, yeah, I've been this badass person while you've been away. Yeah, that's cool. But I was the badass person before you got here. So now I got to push the envelope. We got to see who's bigger and badder.
Yeah.
So Randy, I see that happening.
Randy, is there a possible Becky Lynch sighting tonight, or they're going to hold her off to SmackDown? What do you think? Because there are clearly, again, I try to stay away from rumors. You guys know I'm big on that, but sometimes I see things on accident, and I kind of just like, damn it, they got me. So I'm
kind of like you in terms of I don't like rumors or speculation. I just go based on feel. So, like, if I'm watching and if I'm invested, if I'm like, okay, one of those guys that basically thinks, like, I feel that it's a possible It's possible that Becky could come back tonight to kind of set up a SummerSlam storyline with whoever's the champion, especially from a Raw or SmackDown's perspective, because it's not a definite that Sasha's going to come back and challenge Bianca. So it's like you can go either one or two things, especially for females. It's a little bit more flexible for the females than the men in terms of how that might go and how that might swing, considering, for the women's division, it revolves around the 4 horsewomen. Let's be honest. So they have that flexibility in terms of, all right, how are we going to make this event huge? And Charlotte right now is bored. So you have to find something that can engage all sides, especially with the returning Becky with fans. You know,
and you know what? Somebody in the comments, shout out to Jeff Cowlin. He just said she shows up on Monday, and
I'd rather that than
considering that SmackDown's already strong, Raw needs something.
Yeah, Raw does need something.
But again, how many more times do we have to see Charlotte versus Becky? How many more times do we have to see the 4 horsewomen in a match? It's like, all right, like, come on. We've seen this over the last 6 years now. Do we need another Charlotte versus Becky storyline again? Like,
not even more so that is like how many times you have to break the glass just to use a 4 horsewoman to heighten a feud when you got just as credible females on the roster. Like Shayna Baszler should have been champion twice over already.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, but you know what? We know how that goes though. Vince doesn't like her. She's not going to get a push. So it's simple. Vince don't like you.
It's not just Vince. It's Kevin Dunn as well, man. People back there think that, like, sure, Vince may know one thing, but that man's in his ear more times than most people that are closest to him.
Right.
So, Kevin is the same person that says he didn't get Becky Lynch, but yet here comes the man.
Yeah. So, guys, let's move along. We have the WWE Championship match. We have Kofi Kingston versus Bobby Lashley. We kind of saw a teaser of possibly Bobby Lashley stepping away from the Hurt Business and MVP. Then, again, happens again where you're reading, where you're browsing online, and then, here comes a spoiler for Monday Night Raw, which we already know. That spoiler comes true. It's basically we know what this prediction is not. It's not a prediction anymore. It becomes a spoiler. We know what's going to happen now. It's unfortunate, and I could sit here and go off on a 20-fucking-minute rant about how I'm going to be pissed off about what's going to happen tomorrow night because I know it's going to happen. But let's talk about the match right now. We got 24 people watching. That's a high for us right now. Thank you to everyone who's tuning into our Money in the Bank pay-per-view right now live on the Sports Hit List as we get ready for Money in the Bank. Bobby Lashley retains because I hope it got leaked and they changed their minds, but Bobby Lashley's retaining so he can go off and face Oldberg at SummerSlam, and that's not what we want. But Eric, how do we book this match? Because listen, before I say that though, one of our other contributors made a great booking. He said Kofi wins, Big E wins, cashes in, and he cashes in on Kofi tonight. That's the best booking that would ever happen. Wow. That would be the best booking to happen. Shout out to Clinton Hall.
That's something.
That's the best booking to have tonight.
If that happens, I'm buying him a drink.
Listen,
if that happens, I'm buying him a drink.
Listen, if that happens, my landlord's going to come up here and knock on the door to tell me to shut up because I would totally mark out and having Kofi win it, Kofi win the match, Big E wins the Money in the Bank, and then he cashes in on Kofi and turns on the New Day. That would be gold. But WWE is not smart enough for them to do so. Anyone in WWE's camp watching this right now, that's the way to book it. Shout out to Clint Hall. It's not mine. I didn't say it. Clint Hall said it. That's the best way to book this show tonight.
I ain't got that kind of money.
I'm gonna piggyback off of his prediction. Well, first, my pick is Bobby Lashley, number one. But I'll piggyback off it. I thought Xavier, how they built it over the past couple of weeks before Xavier pinned Bobby Lashley. I felt Xavier was gonna be the one to turn on Kofi.
Me too. I did so too.
I felt it. Yeah. It was more of a you let me be in this cage with this man and you watched me get destroyed. Like, so now I'm going to take everything away from you kind of thing.
But they ended up beating Bobby. So it kind
of zeroes out. So, but in the sense of the buildup, I thought Xavier would be the one. Like, that's a really good idea for Big E to cash in on Kofi, but with Xavier's help. That would be the way I would do it because I always felt Xavier was a very good talker on the mic, and he could be that mouthpiece for somebody along the lines for a Big E. You know,
he was the mouthpiece for the New Day for
that's exactly. So to me, that makes a lot of sense. And if that does happen, I feel the same way, Carl. Somebody's gonna come tell me shut up too.
Okay, but we all know what we're leaning towards in the rumor we saw as being as wrestling fans. You know, he's due for 2 matches. It's unfortunate, but nobody wants to see Goldberg and Bobby Lashley
not
at SummerSlam. Come on, man, we deserve better. And this is the reason why the AEW fans are pointing and laughing at us for sitting here and watching this stupid shit. You know, and I can't even say anything to rebuke them because we're sitting here like we're getting another Goldberg in a championship match when you could have easily booked it a better way. So, Randy, is it safe to say you're going with Bobby Lashley to retain too, right?
Yeah, because I wanted Brock and we're getting Bill.
Or maybe it's a swerve. I don't know. I hope it's a swerve. I hope so.
I hope it's a nasty swerve that I'm getting.
I hope it's a swerve. Please, someone tell me.
I hope it's a cruel joke that somebody gave us.
Yeah, I hope so because from what it's looking like, I hope I'm wrong. Listen, you still have Survivor Series. Have him go to Survivor Series against somebody. We don't want him here tonight. There's nothing against Goldberg and what he did, but there's no place. Like it's the same thing when he beat the Fiend.
No. Like there's a place for Goldberg. You can still have dream matches with Goldberg with guys that are on the roster that don't revolve around the title. That's the frustration.
Who else can really make Bobby feel pain? Jeff asked. That's Brock.
Brock.
Yes, that's Brock easily. It's Brock.
It's the only person. It's the only person you
much
for.
You know what? Not even that. They could do so much with Brock though. And I even said this: Brock versus Roman. I know we've seen it before, but for Paul Heyman wasn't the manager. Like you could have Brock come into that angle. You could have him go against Bobby Lashley. It's perfect, but. I know Brock's probably not under contract right now, so that's another, But the thing,
but here's my caveat with the Brock situation. Brock and Bobby are basically mirror images of each other in terms of the physicality, in terms of the person. Because remember, Brock left a year later. Here comes Bobby Lashley. He didn't really miss Brock much. The only thing is he didn't win the WWE Championship in 2007 like he was supposed to.
Right, and you're not going to have Brock during COVID and have him for like the Thunderdome because you want him to be in front of fans, right?
You want to be in front. You want to be in front of fans, and I thought SummerSlam would be the first initial, chance to do so because now you definitely do have fans coming. You're going to a football stadium in Vegas, and then now you have all this stuff snowballing together in your favor. So I was thinking, all right, finally we may get this match because Bobby came back for one sole purpose: to face Brock Lesnar. And now with him not facing Brock, it almost seems like Brock is actually ducking Bobby.
Yeah. So listen, there's a lot of implications here tonight, which is why I'm excited. Let's move along. We have, because I got you guys for another 10 minutes, we have Roman versus Edge. Here's another match. You kind of know what's going to happen with this one because they've been teasing. And WWE, when they start teasing, you know what's the deal. Seth Rollins and Edge backstage talking shit, back and forth, talking about 2014 twice, not once. It's happened back-to-back weeks on SmackDown. So clearly, to me, and again, when you're logically looking at the way the storyline is going, Seth's going to do some kind of run and cost Edge the match, and then they're going to go on to feud at SummerSlam. Clint, again, who's been a great booker for the Sports Hit List, he says, pay close attention to which match goes last. He says if the Money in the Bank is going last, that means Edge is going to come out and cost Seth the Money in the Bank. I brought
that up.
Yeah, cost him the Money in the Bank because Seth cost him the match earlier in the night. So there's a lot of things you got to pay attention to.
Tit for tat.
So, Eric, let me start with you. How do you see this match playing out?
Universal Championship. It's going to be Roman. I think everybody here is going to pick Roman. Edge is just finally getting his one-on-one that he's owed, so to say, from the Royal Rumble. I actually predicted the tit for tat thing that Edge would cost Seth the Money in the Bank match, and then Seth would cost Edge the Universal title, which would set up their feud even more. So, but I'm definitely going with Roman for the Universal title to retain.
All right. Randy?
Tribal Chief for the win. Either way, all signs point to Roman Reigns winning because we're going to get a mega match at SummerSlam regardless of whoever wins.
Yeah, it's going to be him and Cena or him and Brock. I don't know what's
going on. No. Him and Cena fit for a specific purpose.
Okay. All right. That's how we have that booking. So the women's Money in the Bank contract match, we have Zelina Vega versus Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, superhero.
ASH.
We have the Tamina and Natalya, the women's tag team champions, and Liv Morgan. So who do we have here?
I have Liv Morgan.
That's what everybody else said. I don't know, man.
Unfortunately,
I'm not feeling that pick, man.
Unfortunately, as much as we'd like to go for a legitimate pick,
I would even say Alexa Bliss.
SmackDown storyline has kind of permitted the fact that the way it's where it's going. Liv
She's
is
terrible
like
on the mic, and I can't see it.
I know.
Like, come on, what? Like, is this something somebody else? Like, what Kool-Aid y'all drinking tonight? Because that's the third person to pick Liv Morgan to win it. I don't see it.
That's not my specific pick because I still don't know who can win out of that. Like I have my biases in this match, obviously, but I just don't know who could honestly win this match.
All right, so, Eric, who you going with?
I got the company pick and my pick. So my pick is Naomi. That's my pick. Naomi has clearly had a lot of support on Twitter amongst wrestling fans. They've been dying for Naomi to get another chance at an opportunity. So why not give her this opportunity here? What bigger opportunity than the Money in the Bank match? But the company pick, I agree with you, is probably going to be Alexa Bliss, just off of the work that she's been doing. She's teased a lot of work with Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley as of late. So it just ties in. So I wouldn't be surprised if Alexa Bliss wins tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to Alexa Bliss. I know she's won it before, but I could kind of see her like heel Alexa Bliss with her whole, Bray storyline winning the championship. I could totally see that happening. The World Woman, again, I go by process of elimination. Natalya and Tamina, they're fillers. They're tag team champions. They're out. Nikki Cross could be a sleeper pick, possibly. Naomi, she's been champion before. Asuka had her run. Zelina Vega could be, but her coming back off. So I honestly think the face so far out of these have been Alexa Bliss. And if you want to go Liv Morgan, I guess, because everybody else is saying it, but I totally don't see that happening. All right, so we move along to the men's Money in the Bank champion, Money in the Bank contract. We have Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Riddle, Ricochet, Johnny Morrison, Drip, Big E, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Seth Rollins. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm really disappointed that Cesaro is not in that Seth spot. Seth didn't need to be on this pay-per-view. Seth could have just did his quick run-in during the Universal Championship match. You've been priming Cesaro. He had his main event champion. Like, this is his spot to be in this match. I don't know if it's because you needed a name draw. Seth shouldn't be in here. Seth has done everything. I don't see why he's in here over Cesaro. But this is who we have. Randy, who wins it?
Big E.
Yeah, that seems to be the favorite.
Yes.
Eric?
It's got to happen tonight.
I would love to pick my twin Biggie, but I'm probably gonna go Kevin Owens.
Really?
Yeah.
See, this is what I said. I said Biggie is clearly the clear favorite because again, you go process of elimination, right? You already know Seth is being groomed for Edge. Who else you got in there? Shinsuke is on that King of the Ring storyline, so he's out. Drew, he seems to be on a feud with the modern day Maharaja, so he's out. I can see the modern day Maharaja costing him into it, so he's out. Ricochet, I don't think he's ready. It'd have to be Big E. Johnny Morrison, he's too busy doing the drip stupid shit. He's out.
Not only that, like there's a possibility he could possibly win tonight because
no, I don't know, man. I don't see that happening. The only other person I would say aside from Big E is Riddle, and here's why. I would say, and I just thought of it, Riddle and Orton. Orton gets jealous that he won it, and he turns on him. RK Bro is dead because he has the briefcase. That's the only way I could see that actually working. So it's either Big E or Riddle. And I really love Clint's idea about Big E cashing in tonight on Kofi, and I'd go crazy for that.
I love that too. So I'm not mad at it.
It's a beautiful idea.
Yeah. So I'm going either Big E. My backup is Riddle. That's how I book it. But again, knowing WWE and how they book shit, I could be totally, absolutely wrong. And he goes with Drew McIntyre to win it again. And we're just sitting here like, couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts here, guys, as we wrap up before the pre-show starts? And I have you guys. Any final thoughts? Anything we're looking forward to for this pay-per-view?
I'm just looking forward. I'm hoping for just a crowd interaction with the first pay-per-view back. I just hope that the crowd has a better appreciation of the stars now that this is their first pay-per-view back, and rather than just projecting who you want visually, just enjoy the moment. Just be a wrestling fan. And just enjoy Money in the Bank, for whether it's good or bad. Just be grateful that you're in the audience and just enjoying yourself.
Eric?
I feel the same way. Fan interaction. I'm hoping for a big surprise, whether it be one of our predictions being wrong and us being pleasantly surprised or not. So I'm hoping for a big surprise. Hopefully, the whole Bill Goldberg thing is not true, but so hopefully we don't hear that music tonight. If we do hear it, then
I'll be drinking all night.
Lord help me.
There'll be a lot of TVs being thrown out tonight.
I know, man. Lord help me. Lord help me, please. Lord help me. Because I know it's coming. And like I told you, the worst part about it is having to listen to the AEW fans in my ear talking about, like they come for us. They do. So I think those are the two worst things that can happen. But guys, thank you so much for joining us here on the Sports Hit List. Eric, I won't see you for the post show, but Randy, I will. So Eric, just send us a quick comment about your grade, and I'll definitely share it with the fans and let them know what your thoughts were on that. I definitely appreciate you guys in the backstage, bro. You guys do a hell of a job. Great page, great content. You guys continue pushing like we are, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Enjoy the pay-per-view, and don't break any TVs, please.
No, I can't afford to.
No, we can't. No, we can't do that. But I can afford to yell and kick and scream like a little girl. I'll tell you what, because they be having it going, man. Like, come on, we're looking for. This is the first pay-per-view since WrestleMania with fans back. Let's have a good show, man. That's all I want is logical booking. It's not much to ask for. Just logical booking. Just
all we ask.
Yeah, just logical. Like, just give us something logical that makes sense. Like WrestleMania had some good logical booking. Like, continue that for this pay-per-view. And given the fact of the many implications that we have going along here, like, just make for a good show. That's all we ask for. That's it. It's not too hard to do. But again, knowing Kevin Dunn and Vince, I don't know, man. I'm not too confident just yet.
I'm not either.
The time of the playing, the pay-per-view starts at 8:00. Pre-show starts at 7. We got a couple more contributors who are going to come in before we head out for you guys to watch the pay-per-view. But again, thank you guys for coming along, and I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. You're watching the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans live right now. About 25 people watching us. Thank you to all those who are subscribed. 27, actually. We're at a high peak of 27 right now. So thank you guys for watching us. I'm waiting for the other two contributors to come in as we close out. I believe we have TK the Tank Tom Kenny, who is going to join us. And we also have Matt Williams from the Jeep Nation podcast to give us their predictions for WWE Money in the Bank. Here comes TK the Tank. Guys, I'll see you guys later. You guys take care. Enjoy it. Right. And Randy, I hope to see braided Randy next time. Afro Randy, braided Randy. That's what we got here. So we'll see how that works. You guys take care.
All right.
All right. Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. TK the Tank comes in. And we are waiting for Matt Williams that he will sign in. TK the Tank, Tom Kenny, can you hear me, sir? TK, can you hear me? I can't hear you, sir. Can you hear me? Let's see. He's going to fix it. Can you hear me, TK? I can see you, but I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. How you doing, my guy?
Good, Carl. How are you?
It's good to see you, man. It's been a minute. It's been a while. How you holding up?
I know. Good. I'm doing good. I'm happy to be back on. Happy to talk about some WWE, man.
Listen,
it's been a long time.
We have some excitement going along. We got some predictions, some crazy scenarios to finish out. We had a high of 30 people watching us. The Sports Hit List Pro Wrestling crew is definitely holding down the fort. Our numbers have been great. So we got people watching us who are tuning in for this prediction show. So I'm not going to waste any time. I know Jeep Nation will be here shortly. He told me he's on his way. So we start off with the pre-show, which will kick off in about, let's just be kicking off right now. We have father and son, the Mysterios versus brother and brother. I don't think I've ever seen that before in a WWE pay-per-view. So it's the first time we're seeing a father-son duo versus a brother-brother duo. So it's a family event for the tag team championship.
It is.
For the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Who you got here?
Well, I mean, seeing that this is on the kickoff, it kind of makes me think this is the start of a feud rather than the culmination of one. I think they might finish this off at SummerSlam. So give me the Mysterios, father and son duo here, to retain in the kickoff against the Usos. Something may go wrong, maybe an edge interference, but I think they hold on to the titles a little bit longer. And I think at SummerSlam, you finally see, all the gold with the bloodline. But for right now, give me the Mysterios.
Okay, we have Matt Williams from the Jeep Nation is in the building. Matt, how you doing, sir? Thanks for joining us.
What's going on?
We're here making some predictions. We got a lot of fans watching us, man. A high here on the Sports Hit List. I think we had like 30 people at some point. So tuning into our show. Thank you for everyone joining us as we have this pregame. Listen, man, we've been impressed with the numbers. Hit List has been doing some numbers out there in these streets. So in the pre-show, we have, I think it's a family event. It's a family affair. We have father and son versus brother and brother. The Usos versus the Mysterios. Matt, who you got here?
Wow. My fandom says I want the Usos to win because I'm an Usos mark. But storyline wise, I don't think it's time to put the titles on the Usos. So I say the Mysterios win but the Usos are going to take those titles from the Mysterios eventually.
All right. Yeah, I'm not sure that the kickoff show kicks off right now, so hopefully the match doesn't happen while we're still on for the next half hour. Hopefully it happens after. So if it does, if you guys can get an update from me, let me know if this match happens. Let me know while we're on, because I know the kickoff show just kicked off. So then we have, starting off with the actual pay-per-view itself, we have the Viking Raiders versus Amos and AJ Styles. I'm not too fond of this AJ Styles. Listen, I called it the Ebony and Ivory tag team. I'm not in favor of it at all. This hasn't flown well. This mixed race tag team. It doesn't work for. I don't know if it's because it's mixed, but Almost is
you
too
can't
green.
say because it's mixed race.
No, I'm not saying that. It just so happens that they are. Because
the greatest tag team of all time, the Dudleys, are mixed race. So
yeah, that's fair. I'm just saying this.
The APA.
Listen, I'm just saying this version of this tag team doesn't work for me. I don't know. Amos is too green. I don't know what it is.
What doesn't work is they're not on TV enough, and Amos is too green.
Right, fair.
Give them more TV time. That's the problem.
Yeah, but and I also think it's like they gave AJ the tag team because he needed to become, Grand Slam champ. It's the only piece missing to his WWE tenure and reign for the last 4 or 5 years. He hasn't had it, and this was his opportunity to get it. So
that's true, but I don't think that's why they put him on. I think that was purely to give AJ a reason to mentor almost, because I don't think AJ cared about having a tag title or being a Grand Slam champion, to be perfectly honest.
So who do you have coming out this match?
I have AJ and almost coming out this match. I don't think Vince believes in the Viking Raiders enough to put the title belts back on them. It would be nice if he did and believed in tag team wrestling, but he doesn't. Almost is
unfortunate.
Yeah, almost is the future. He's a monster. He needs as much exposure as he can get. He is the real project. AJ is the bigger star. AJ and almost go over.
TK?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Matt said there. To me, Carl, you mentioned it almost still is very green, and they are kind of trying to, develop him and make him seem like a threat while they also develop him in ring. So I feel like that's why you haven't seen much of this team. And in terms of Vince not trusting the Viking Raiders, I don't really think Vince cares much about the tag division in general. So anyone really could win tonight. But to me, like I said, I agree with Matt. I think you keep the titles on AJ Styles and Omos, because to me, the team that should be the team to take the titles off of them eventually would be Team RK Bro, if they, get things back on track and Riddle maybe doesn't win Money in the Bank. But that's a lot of maybes. Still, I think, AJ Styles almost, that's an attraction. Vince loves attraction. SummerSlam is coming up, so I think they should keep the title.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep it. But like I said, I think it's time. I don't know what almost needs, but
no, actually, this is part of it. Vince is feeding the Viking Raiders to Amos, because we saw how dominant he was against the New Day, but they're relatively smaller guys. The Viking Raiders are much bigger men, and they're going to have them bump around for him too, and have him destroy them to make him look like an even bigger monster.
Okay, moving along, we have Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte. I don't care for the storyline, to be honest with you. This storyline was a terrible build. It didn't do justice for me. I don't see where this is going. And I could see Rhea retaining, because I don't know how many more times we have to see Charlotte with the Women's Championship. We've seen it too many times already. She's already trying to pass her dad, and I don't like the way she looks. I'm going to be totally honest with you. It doesn't do justice for me, and I'm going to be, I'm not shy to say it. I'm going to say it. No disrespect, but she went and she came back, and she doesn't look great. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Maybe I'm being biased here, but TK, I know you do like the way she looks. What are your thoughts here with this match?
Well, all right. So when she first came out, I thought she looked okay, but in seeing her a lot since then, things have changed.
Thank you, my guy, TK. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. You see? Thank you.
I can't disagree with you, Carl. I can't disagree with you.
Keep it a buck. Thank you. Thank you.
What I do have to say is that Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, she had the title the same time Bianca Belair got the title, and I feel like Bianca's done so much more than Rhea Ripley, and I don't know what it is, the disconnect between, the Raw champions and the SmackDown champions. I look at the SmackDown title picture, I'm just so much more interested, but I think a title shake up here, having Charlotte win again. To me, I like Charlotte as an in-ring talent, and you can never go wrong with Charlotte. She's just great with anybody except this, and this is kind of bad, and I think, they're going to make a change, because they have to have some titles change hands sometimes, and I think the title changes hands tonight.
Matt?
I have to agree. First, a blind man could see when Charlotte came back that there was work done, that she was changed. Like, I've
listen.
always,
You know me. I have to be as transparent as possible. I'm not going to
of
sit here and
course,
talk about
yeah,
Charlotte,
no.
not talk
And
about
look,
it. That
I've always dug Ashley Flair. I think she was prettier before any of the work, but that's just me. But this, you're right. There's no heat behind this feud, and I honestly think Charlotte's going to win because I don't think Vince gets Rhea Ripley, and I don't think Rhea Ripley on Raw is allowed to try to be the nightmare that she wants to be. And also, I think a lot of the fans didn't want to see her take the belt off of Asuka at Mania. I think people wanted Asuka to have that W, and so Asuka deserved to hold the title longer and let Rhea, especially because it was Rhea Ripley's first. She had been at Raw for what, 2 weeks before they put the belt on her. Yeah. She needed to fail. She needed to chase, not come and take. She needed to chase some, that the fans had some oomph behind her and desire to see her win, not come and take something from Asuka, whose booking has been crap since they pulled her up.
Yeah.
Well, and also just to hop on that.
No, go ahead, TK. Sorry.
Just to hop on that a second with what you're saying. Also, Ripley, she won the title at Mania as a heel, and then they immediately kind of lukewarmly turned her face because Charlotte wanted to be heel. And when you do that, you get that kind of Big Show paradox where it's hard for fans to really invest in you. And if you bring someone up to the main roster and, you just have them come and take the title as a heel, that works. But now she's a babyface, and you feel like she should have been chasing the whole time to build up her heat. Absolutely. And I feel like they just messed it up and have to just hit restart with Rhea Ripley.
Now, let me ask you guys this. The wild card I've been discussing is, again, you guys know me. I hate reading spoilers, but sometimes I fall on them on accident because I'm scrolling past where I shouldn't be scrolling, and I see something and I'm just like, shit, here we go. So the spoiler I kind of saw is that Becky Lynch is on the verge and on looming of coming back. Could we possibly see a Becky Lynch run into the Raw Championship, Raw Women's Championship, or does she go towards the SmackDown and Bianca Belair? Bianca comes out, cuts a promo, and we hear Becky Lynch's music hit. Is there any scenario where Becky is here tonight or no?
No. It's 2 reasons. One, it wouldn't make sense for her to come tonight, but I think she is coming back soon, and that's one of the reasons why I think Charlotte goes over, because Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley means nothing to nobody.
Yeah, but Becky and Charlotte don't mean shit either. We've seen that how many more times, man? Come on, man. Let's not do this.
But
let's not do this again.
There's history there. That's what's there. And number 2, Becky comes back at SummerSlam. Because that's the pop you want to hear at SummerSlam is Becky Lynch's music. You don't want that at Money in the Bank. You want that at SummerSlam.
Okay. TK, do you agree with Matt, or is that possible Becky Lynch sighting tonight?
I was thinking as you asked that question that Becky Lynch might come out tonight, but after hearing Matt and knowing that we have a lot of big matches to plan for at SummerSlam, I feel like a lot of big things might happen tonight. But I think Matt might be right that Becky Lynch isn't one of them, and they want to save a return for SummerSlam. And to get the title on Charlotte, maybe at SummerSlam, give Rhea her rematch is much better. And to me, even if you put Becky on SmackDown, then she's got to go for Belair, which would make Becky a face, which isn't going to work, even though Seth is on SmackDown. So I can see them holding off on Becky for a little bit. You never know at WWE. They could just be, blowing this stuff all up at once to try to, pop ratings. But if they're really trying to be smart about this and layer it out, I think it might be another month before we see Becky.
Yeah,
but John Cena tonight in one of the other heavyweight matches coming out. That could happen.
Somebody also says Becky may lean towards SmackDown because her husband's there. You want to keep them together. That's a possibility. But then Raw needs something, and Becky could be that.
Yeah, no, Raw needs a shot in the arm.
Yeah. So they need something. So we have a lot of scenarios tonight, a lot of implications. The WWE Championship match: Kofi Kingston versus Bobby Lashley. Again, Carl Coulange is scrolling when he shouldn't be scrolling, and he files upon the spoiler that he doesn't want to see, and he sees it, and I'm pissed off, and I'm going to break my TV should this spoiler come true. It's not a prediction anymore, it's a spoiler. I'm going to go out and say it. There are rumors that Goldberg comes out tomorrow night, and he challenges Bobby Lashley for the championship, which basically spoils, any possible of Kofi winning tonight. But I will say this. Clint Hall has had a great booking for tonight. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but it's been awesome. He says Kofi wins, Biggie wins, and cashes in on Kofi tonight. I would lose my mind. I kid you not, Matt. Tell me that's not a perfect booking for tonight. That's not a great booking that we all lose our minds, that Biggie turns on New Day and says, I'm the new champ, on Kofi Kingston. Xavier Wood helps him win the championship tonight. That's not great. No,
look. The heel in me would love it. Personally,
awesome. He doesn't even need to be a heel to do it. He could be doing it as a face.
The heel in me would love that, but I've seen a lot of people predict that. I just don't see it happening. I really think an Xavier Woods heel turn is going to come out of this. Possibly
he's going to screw Bob. He's going to screw Kofi tonight.
Kofi, yes. I really think that a heel turn is going to come out of this, because as good as the New Day is, I think people are starting to feel that they're a little stale, especially without Big E. It's not the same without Big E there. And also Xavier's going to have a lot of G4 responsibility and things coming up. So I think a turn and a split may come just because Xavier may need to take some time off for his other responsibilities.
Up, down. Yeah.
Not just up, down, but he signed the deal with G4, the gaming network that's coming back. So, and that's a big marketing thing for WWE as well. So having him turn on Kofi, helping Bobby retain makes sense. And I think Goldberg does show up. I heard that rumor too. I don't want it to happen because I am sick and tired of old Trashberg. But he keeps coming up. Vince keeps offering paydays, and honestly, I can't knock the hustle. If Vince keeps offering me paydays, I'm going to take the freaking payday to be in the ring for one.
The worst feeling is,
but I don't want to. But I don't want to see it because I don't want to see anybody get hurt, because his last match have been absolutely garbage and horrible, and people have almost gotten hurt.
And then we have to hear the AEW fans talk about, point and laugh at us and say, "This is what happens when we continue to watch what Vince feeds us."
Okay, AEW fans can't talk because they had Sting in the ring, and that man was almost paralyzed, and he shouldn't be working anything. So I don't want to hear it from AEW guys.
TK, how is this WWE Championship match? We just gave you a lot of scenarios, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, those scenarios are pretty awesome. I mean, honestly, if I'm Big E, like, what am I really doing in SmackDown? How do I get to the next level? Seth Rollins turning on the Shield was big, but this is New Day. New Day, they recently were named the best tag team in WWE of all time by WWE.
Which is ridiculous, but go ahead.
But they were. So they're building New Day up as this, they've had 6 years or 7 years of a great run now. And do you ever break them up? Do they ever not break up? I recently read an interview with Big E where he was talking about how they would never break up. And, there are subtle things that make you think like, oh, yeah, if Kofi wins tonight, that would be great. But with the work you put into Bobby Lashley, I don't know how you have Kofi beat him when you saw Kofi get destroyed by another big guy, Brock Lesnar, and to lose the title. I'm glad Kofi's getting a rematch here, and I hope it's a good match, a 15-minute match. But to me, this is just a stepping stone. Same way he beat Xavier Woods, same way he beat Miz. This is all just building Bobby Lashley up to the SummerSlam match against, I guess, Goldberg. I actually didn't even hear that.
It better not be Goldberg.
Yeah.
No, Goldberg won't beat him. Goldberg should not beat him. I think
I know, but I'm just hoping. I just hope we get that, Lesnar versus Bobby, the one that we've been dreaming to get, which I think would be a great match.
But apparently, I would love it, but I don't think it's going to happen because apparently Brock doesn't want to do the job, and the bigger talk now is Brock. Because if he does the job, that weakens him when he eventually returns and faces Roman, with Paul Heyman as the catalyst as far as who's.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I'm looking forward to. But
that shouldn't happen till next year. I want to. If I see Brock this year, I want it to be Brock and Lashley. I don't care what happens 5-6 months later when he faces Roman Reigns for the Universal title. Like, that's not going to lower it for me. So I want Brock and I want Lashley.
Okay. So again, like I said, guys, a lot of scenarios, a lot of things that can happen in this championship match. We move along to the Universal Championship match. We have Edge versus Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief. Clearly, we see where this is going. You've been watching SmackDown the last 2 weeks. We know how this booking is going to happen. Seth is going to do a run-in. He's going to cost Edge the match, which is going to set up for Seth versus Edge at SummerSlam. That's what they've been teasing the last 2 weeks. He helps his Shield brethren in Roman Reigns to retain. Is there any other scenario that should be happen tonight, or is that pretty much?
That's exactly what should happen tonight. He already acknowledged the Tribal Chief, weeks ago when he had that paint drip jacket on and whatever. And
his suits have been fire, by the way. I've been loving Seth.
Yeah, his suits have been out of this world.
They've been great though. But Seth,
Seth is the WWE drip king. I mean,
Seth is the truth, man. I'm a Seth Rollins guy, man. I've been with him since he's a Shield.
But that needs to be what happens. And honestly, Edge is, because he's old and he has been injured, His job is to put Roman over and to put Seth over, and he did a good job helping put Roman over at Mania in the triple threat match, and he's doing a good job now. So, and I'm not, you know me, I can't stand Edge. So
I didn't know that. You see, there's something wrong with you, man. No, man. Well, I'm not surprised because you can't stand Stone Cold CM Punk either.
He's trash. I used to be a fan. I'm a Hardy Boys guy. I'm a big Matt Hardy fan. So I'm still
Edge and Christian with a better tag team, but that's another debate for another.
No, that's not true at all.
WWE,
WWE had them ranked high.
I don't care what WWE had them ranked. WWE don't know what the hell they're talking about. Edge and Christian with a better tag team.
No.
Yes, they were. Hey, not even close. Are you kidding me?
Not even close.
The 5-second pose, bro.
Who
come
cares?
on. Let's be real right now.
The Hardys.
Did you not stand there for 5 seconds?
The Hardys became the Brood and were a better Brood than the.
No, they were never. Yes.
The new Brood was better.
Stop being disrespectful.
They won that tag
team. Now you're being disrespectful on my show.
Better.
Stop it. The Brood coming out with Gangrel,
it was better.
Edge and Christian.
It was better as Matt and Jeff Hardy like this.
Are you kidding me?
What drugs did you smoke before you come on the
show? Are you kidding me? What did you smoke before you come on here? Stop it. Keep it 100. Stop it.
No, I wasn't with Ziggy. I'm clean.
Come on. You know what? That's a debate we'll have another day. But as I was saying, TK, this Universal Championship match, how do we book it here?
Roman's had a lot of clean wins. But he didn't get a clean win over Edge at Mania with the triple threat versus Bryan. I mean, it's hard to have a clean win in a triple threat technically, but he had Jimmy Uso come out, but he's beat Cesaro clean, he beat D-Bry clean, he's beat a bunch of guys clean. I actually just want to see him beat Edge clean, and then maybe a post-match Seth Rollins comes out and just beats Edge down, and that's how you start that. I know it's a little similar to what they did with the Daniel Bryan and the Cesaro coming out after type thing. But to me, just keep building up the tribal chief. Like, yeah, of course, he's a heel. He cheats sometimes to win if he needs to. But I want to see more clean wins for Roman because I think this all ends eventually after he, does what he needs to do and drops the title to a babyface, switch him, put him back on Raw, make him their top babyface. So I think this all builds to Roman being the top guy again, which he pretty much already is. But I mean, guy.
I don't see Roman being a babyface. Listen, this whole tribal chief thing is great for him, and we saw the reactions on SmackDown. He looks like he's getting it. The other thing that somebody said to pay close attention to is which match goes last. Say the Money in the Bank goes last. Maybe Edge comes out and costs Seth the Money in the Bank championship. Again, there are a lot of different scenarios and people we've had throughout this show that have making you want to think about what's going to happen.
I mean, you never really know what with Edge, though. No. Edge could just beat up Seth Rollins, take him out of Money in the Bank, and take the spot after he loses the title match. Edge has done that stuff in the past.
Too. Yeah, that's
Kingston remembers.
Yeah, that's a possibility. So we'll see what happens there. But we're all in favor of clearly Roman's going to retain. So let's move along to the Money in the Bank contract matches. We have Zelina Vega for the women, Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss. The superhero Nikki Cross. We have the women's. We have the Raw Women's Tag Team Champions Natalya and Tamina, and then we have Liv Morgan. Matt, who wins it?
This is a tough one. It's not going to be Asuka 2 years in a row. As much as
process of elimination here. That's what we try to do. That's what I try to do when I'm going through these possibilities.
Honestly, this one is so tough to call. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Alexa Bliss, even though
that's my pick.
Even though I don't want it to be. I mean, she's wrestled like 4 matches in 2020. Like, I don't like her in the gimmick without Bray, but whatever. It is what it is. But I think it's Alexa Bliss. My hope, actually, would that be Natalya wins, because I think with having the best record, the most winningest record of any woman in WWE history, and calling herself the BOAT, I think she deserves, and being pretty much the best female worker they have. I think she deserves a lengthy title run as a heel with that BOAT moniker and just showing that she's the best. And I think that would be dope for her. But I think Alexa Bliss gets the belt. I mean, gets the Money in the Bank contract, and they do some goofy, spooky stuff with it, and
TK.
The women's Money in the Bank is really tough for me. I narrowed it down in my mind to 4 choices. Alexa Bliss is the one I'm leaning close to, same with you guys, just because I feel like she hasn't had the title for a while. Money in the Bank might work with that gimmick, and I kind of don't expect it, even though now I do expect it. But my first thought was Liv Morgan. She's been
That's
pushed
what
pretty hard
everyone
on
else has been saying. I don't know what Liv Morgan's been doing that got everyone thinking that Liv Morgan's going to win this tonight, but a lot of people on the other panels have said that tonight.
Yeah, I just the way she's been booked, it's almost too apparent that she's been booked that way, but at the same time, they might just have her do it. She's really convinced me just the way she's looked, her facials, that she's going to win this thing. So I have her in mind. And, Vince likes pretty blonde girls, so you always give them a little bit of an edge. And then the other two are, I'm forgetting now, Asuka, because last time she won Money in the Bank, but she just won the title, so she never had the briefcase. So I think they could just give it to Asuka again, because you could really slot her into the world title picture at any time. She's that good.
Yeah.
And who am I forgetting?
Tamina.
Well, did you want
Tamina?
Tamina, Natalia, Naomi, or Zelina Vega, or
Zelina, because she just resigned. That might be a little. They might have give her this as just thanks for resigning, thanks for coming back. And
I got Alexa Bliss. I think she's been running the face of the Raw Women's division on Raw. As far as SmackDown's concerned, I'm not too sure. I mean, Natalia would be a great pick, but then her tag team champion is in the match with her. I think they were fillers, so I don't see how she could end up winning it. But I wouldn't be mad at her winning it either, because I love Natalia. I think she's great. So I wouldn't be mad at that pick.
Morgan's going to get it because they booked Shayna the same way last year, and everyone thought Shayna was going to come away with it, and she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm leaning towards Alexa Bliss, because I feel like she's kind of gone under the radar, and that's usually what they like to do. Kind of have someone come like Jack Swagger in 2010, just coming out of nowhere and just.
I was there for that moment. I was marking out because I love Jack. I'm a Jack Swagger guy. I was
a big Jack Swagger fan. I saw him lose the title to Rey Mysterio. I was like, oh well, that title reign sucked. But
terrible. So we move along to what I like to consider the main event. The Raw Money in the Bank. We have Seth Rollins, Nakamura, Big E, Johnny Drip Drip. We have Ricochet. We have Riddle. We have Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre for the Raw Money in the Bank. I already gave you some scenarios. I'm going to say the two people win it. Clearly, everyone's favorite is Big E to win it out here. Big E seems to be the favorite. The only other to me would be Riddle, and have him and Randy Orton feud for it. Randy Orton gets jealous because he's not champion, and then he turns on him, and that breaks up RK Bro, because I don't know where Randy is, because I think that could possibly be looming. Those are the only two that make sense. Everybody else, I did process of elimination. Doesn't make any sense for them to win it, because Seth is going on with Edge. Nakamura's on that King of the Ring storyline. Ricochet's not ready. Drew, tired of seeing him in the championship picture. Kevin Owens, he's great, but I don't think it's his to win. And Johnny Drip Drip is too busy squirting water guns to win anything. So, TK?
I feel like you're pretty spot on. I mean, we've talked, and if you asked me back when WrestleMania ended a couple months ago, my early prediction was Big E versus Roman Reigns, and Big E takes the title off Roman. And I was worried about Money in the Bank because I really thought that Big E was probably the highest probability to win Money in the Bank, but I wanted him to get his Royal Rumble win and then WrestleMania moment. But with Reigns rumored to face The Rock, it really makes sense that Big E wins the Money in the Bank here. So if you had to ask me to pick anyone, I would pick Big E. However, I do like some of the more dark horse kind of, winners that there could be there. I think Seth Rollins could always have the briefcase again. I mean, him with the briefcase and that stupid laugh would be, could really get him heat. He works really well as a heel. Yeah, exactly. But if we watch SmackDown, you saw Big E get curb stomped and pinned clean in that fatal four-way. Clean as a sheet, as clean as you can do in a fatal four-way match. And I mean, to me, that just solidified that he's taking that briefcase home tonight. But you never know with WWE. Last year, they went with Otis. So we could see someone like Ricochet win this time and then be like, I hope they don't mess it up again. But to me, Big E just makes too much sense not to pick.
I have to agree. Big E is the only one who makes the most sense. Ricochet's there for his high flying. So is Johnny Drip Drip. My dark horse would be Johnny Drip Drip because of how entertaining he and Miz were last year with that. And you could have some more fun this time with Johnny having the briefcase and Miz being jealous of him, where Johnny was supportive, Miz not be supportive, and cost Johnny opportunities to cash in. That would be entertaining television. But I can't see anybody really getting it but Big E. Rollins is the only one I think could get it outside of that, and I don't think that's going to fit the story that they're going to tell with him and Edge. So it's got to be Big E because everyone else is really there to be is for high spots, really. And then McIntyre's there because they want to try to trick you into thinking. But everyone is sick and tired of seeing Drew, and nothing against Drew, but everyone's sick and tired of seeing him get title shots. So
and I think they're grooming him in the modern day Maharaja for a feud. It seems like they have a budding feud on Raw, which looks pretty interesting to me. So I don't know. I could see modern day, with the run-in to kind of cause Drew the championship or the briefcase.
I could definitely see him keep Drew from getting the briefcase. Yeah. Okay.
It's always up in the air though, because I remember Cody Rhodes was supposed to win in 2016. They thought it was too obvious.
They dropped the ball and they gave it to Damian Sandow.
Chris Jericho.
The worst fucking
same
pick,
with Chris
man.
Jericho when they gave it to Punk for the second year in a row.
Yeah.
So
and it's crazy. Really Chris Jericho. It was Chris Jericho's idea. He never won it. Like that's crazy, man. That's
so the fact it just seems so much like so many people think Big E. I mean, like I said, we saw Otis last year. They really might throw a curveball, and we might see Drew McIntyre with it, Ricochet with it, so we'll have to see. But Ricochet, he feels like an Evan Bourne. He feels like just a guy there to do the Blitz. But I would love to see Johnny win it. He would be hilarious, him and Miz. You just talk
Johnny
about that.
Would be great. Well, let's go break some of his legs and get Shelton Benjamin in it so he can finally get his win.
Right, for sure. I'll be down for that, man.
Exactly.
Ain't no stopping me. No. Guys, will you guys be joining me for the post game tonight? For the post show?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Yeah, I'll be up.
Yeah, so what we'll end up doing is I'll have everyone in the waiting room. People will jump in, give their grade, what they thought, what they liked, what they didn't like, and then they jump out. So it'll just be a list of contributors waiting to jump in. If you guys don't mind just waiting a couple minutes, watch, and then I'll get you guys in to give your feedback of the show. I'll be watching. You guys enjoy it. Thank you for tuning in to the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. And guys, enjoy the pay-per-view. And hopefully it's a good
you
one.
too, Carl.
Listen, I just hope it's great booking. That's all I want is a great, I'm not asking for
great matches too, hopefully.
Great matches and booking that makes sense.
Carl, you got the briefcase. I want to see you run out there and cash.
Hey, listen, man, I'm gonna take a red eye out there and we'll see what happens. Listen, the chosen one in the middle of the ring, you don't know what's gonna happen. The true tribal chief may make an appearance. I'm not sure what will happen. We'll see.
True.
You guys take care. Thank you for joining us here on the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. Carl Coulange here as I sound out as TK and Matt exit the room. Thank you for everyone for watching our post show. And I hope you guys tune into our post show. We're going to have a post show to Money in the Bank. So enjoy the pay-per-view. Come back and join us for the post show as we will review. We'll be having here to review what just happened, giving you guys all the up-to-date, giving you guys some grades. Thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to all Sports Hit List content, and we'll see you immediately following Money